What's happening? A beautiful Monday to you watching this video. Today we are going to be looking at the market weekly analysis, whereby what I do is that I cover down GBP, JPY, US 30, US 100, and I believe that you will be learning a lot from the way that I see the markets. And obviously guys, if you do happen to find value from this video, the only thing that you can do is to comment, like, and as well subscribe to my YouTube channel. Turn on that notification bell so whenever I upload a video you will be updated. So now let us take a look at the markets. The previous week has been super awesome. There's a lot of, basically the market did happen to have moved to the bullish side with us. And one thing that I like is that we are now going to be looking at how we can capitalize that whole movement and what we have learned from the previous week. So what we will be starting up with is GBP JPY. I've got here our beautiful GBP JPY, but before we start off first on the 1 hour, I'd like for us to actually take it all the way back to the 4-hour time frame, because the previous week I understand that there were some bullish momentums that we did see, and yes, it did happen to shoot a bit more to the upside when the week started, but as the week was about to end, that's when it started shooting more to the downside. That's when we had that bearish movement. So one thing that I like is that as soon as we did push, we reached these levels of support, which is here where we are currently in terms of our support zone, but its either price can still push a bit to the lower, maybe retest somewhere around these areas here at 161.092, somewhere around those levels, just so it can rebound and then continue going back to the upside, and then maybe going all the way up to our take profits. So that's one of the things that we need to be looking at in terms of the 4-hour time frame. But so far I'm looking at it going down to the 60-minute time frame right here. So one thing that I like is that I can literally see that beautiful sellers, like we've got our first touches here, our second touch, and now here being our third touch, as you can see, first, second, third touch. And as well, we got this beautiful pattern that was printed in a way that shows us that this is actually a continuation pattern to the downside. So one thing that I normally do in these cases is that I would have my stop loss just be somewhere below here once price is confirmed, and I'd put it either here my stop loss for the reduced risk entry, but to actually have more in terms of the risk, what I'll do is that I'll put it here by 30 points, which is a bit more fair, because I would have at least confirmed by the candlestick that would have came here, and at the same time this is what I would do. I would be able to look at take profits of this level. But if not, then I'll just let it slide, and once it does go maybe a bit to the downside and it gives me some sort of bias, that's when I'll be able to take it. So let's say if it does move and then maybe it goes down a bit, something similar to this, then obviously I'm more likely to get that beautiful buy all the way to the upside. I think the most important thing that I'm looking for here is the buy compared to the sell. The sell can actually build up in terms of me being able to go all the way upwards with it, but the buy is what I'm looking for, because already just by looking at the take profit areas, you can see already looking at a 9.8% on just a single trade. And if we're going all the way up to take profit, you can simply see that there's a higher chance of us going back almost close to 15% for the week on GBP JPY. So that's one of the ways that I'm seeing it happening, and hopefully it can play out like this. But I like the fact that we can still benefit from the sellers and as well from the buyers. So I'm looking at US 30. This one here was a beautiful one. Even the previous week we have been seeing these buyers, price shooting upwards, correcting for a while, and then going back to the upside, shooting upwards. But one thing that I like this week is that we also even happen to have quite a beautiful buy position there. But that buy was a bit tricky, because what happened is that, let me just go all the way down to the 15-minute. What happened is that we caught that buy as soon as we saw this beautiful candlestick formation. Like once price retested this area multiple times, we saw this buy, and we literally took that buy all the way to the upside. I think we end up with it like this, and our stop losses was like close to here, and our take profits was like, I think at the maximum or something. So what this one here, the first trade that we took, like looking at it, you can simply see that stop loss, it went up, it went down. So maybe you're thinking it took us out, but it didn't, because as soon as it started shooting upwards, by the time it was here, imagine we were already in close to 1.7 percentages. So what it done is that we instead logged maximum profit. So at the end, even if it did go down, it didn't take us out with negatives, but it instead took us out with positives. So one thing that I like was the trade that actually followed. This one here on the 60 minutes, you can see most people, I'm sure, it took them in and out, and others, they just activated their sell stops and stuff. But looking at it, price started shooting upwards. It rallied upwards, and it went all the way to the first TP. And as soon as it got to the first TP, safe. Can continue. As soon as it got to the first TP was like close to 4 percentages, but it still went up, and now we're floating close to like literally 8% looking at it. So these are like one of the ways that I like about how we enter trades. Like I noticed that a lot of people are more worried about maybe a lot of trades taking profit, and it's not really like that. Like even our premium or private signals group, what happens is that we would take a negative and a negative and a negative, maybe even 4 to 5 negatives in a row. But that one positive trade or even 2 positive trades that we take would literally bring back all those negatives, and then it would put us ahead because of the way that we actually do place our risk reward strategies. Like we are always looking to capitalize at least 3% or more. So sometimes the market can give us 2%, sometimes 5, 6, 8 percentages. There's also one trade that are closed as well, close to 6 percentages, and it can still go all the way up to 15%, just like what you saw on GBP JPY. So imagine with 15% on one single trade, it means that even if I lose 15 trades, that one single trade has already put me into the profit level. So that's how we actually are able to stay longer in the markets. And coming up, so what we're looking for here is basically the market now pushing, maybe playing somewhere around these areas here, because there's still a higher level, a higher chance that we're coming here. So how we get there is actually what matters. Like for instance, price can still maybe push a bit more to the upside, and then start correcting for a bit, Monday, Tuesday type thing, correct, and then continue going back upwards. So whatever pattern that it prints, I'm more likely to take that pattern as soon as I see it. And at the same time, even if it comes and maybe tries to retest around these areas, I'm more likely to just place a buy here, knowing that my risk to reward is a bit too more. Because if I can buy anywhere here, my risk can be literally less than these previous higher lows right here, and my reward can at least be close to 7 percentages on just return on investment. So that's one thing that I'm looking for on US30. I'm excited with how US30 is looking, because just by looking at how it performed the previous week, it's giving me so much confidence of what's more likely to happen in the next week. I mean, in this week that's actually happening. So I'm very, very excited with how it's playing out. Yeah, it's actually following through with our patterns as well with our impulsive nature strategies. So these are some of the most important things. At the same time, guys, if you are finding value and you are literally gaining so much information from this video, one of the simplest things that you can do for me is to literally hit that subscribe button, and at the same time comment below what it is that you like so far about the setups that I've actually presented to you. And then we are going to be taking a look at US 100 now. So looking at US 100, boom, I can simply see that with US 100, how the market has moved here, it's super beautiful. So one thing that I'll say is that maybe starting from a daily time frame, let's just take a look at starting from a daily time frame, because at the end, with these markets, how they move, it's very important of us to be able to just spot them and be able to just literally follow through with them from a very higher time frame all the way down to a smaller time frame. And whatever small is comfortable for you, let's say someone small could be 60 minutes and the other person small could be maybe 5 minutes, a minute. So it all depends on the type of trader that you are. And yeah, but those are things that we'll speak about on the next videos. So looking at it, US 100, obviously we've been having pushes upward. Now we are at this resistance area, but it's very important on how price gets to resistance, because yes, it can get to resistance, but if it gets there impulsively, then it means that the market has a strong momentum to the upside. So for our time frame, and for everyone that keeps on asking in the comment section, at the same time, everyone that they're asking in terms of the brokers that we are able to execute trades and trade with, the link will be left in the description box whereby you are able to trade securely with them. That's one of the reasons I actually love and I'm comfortable with trading with them. So I highly believe that you can check them out and trade with them. So yeah, looking at it, US 104-hour time frame. So what happens here is that obviously we are now at the resistant, something similar to this right here, resistant right here, and price giving us, like, just by coming down on the 60-minute, price giving us a very clear impulse correction, and now looking at an impulse, and already I can simply see that my next take profit is right here from my levels that I've got from my previous zones, significant areas and zones. Okay, I'm not too sure what's happening. Let me just right here. There we go. Yeah, perfect. Exactly like this. So what happens is that I've got swing to literally all of this range right here. This is where I can literally just buy and be able to capitalize on it. So what I'll do is that let me just focus more on making this be recent. So I'm more likely to just zoom in, take a look at what current market practice is telling me. Instead of trying to see what happened years ago and stuff, I'm just going to focus more on now, and putting it right here, and this on the second touches, yeah, because this being our first touch, second touch, and now here obviously looking at that structure already, it is like giving us higher highs. Let me just put this up here. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and higher high, higher low, and now pushing upwards. So we're looking for price to continue going up, giving us a higher low, and then boom, all the way back to the upside. So one thing that I can say is that now we are basically just looking for supports. So any type of structure that we can see forming into support, we can go with. So if price starts to correct, maybe somewhere around here, and prints a beautiful pattern that we can take to the upside, we can easily take that, because the risk versus the reward on it is a bit too amazing. And at the same time, if maybe price just comes down, plays around some of these levels, and maybe still goes down, plays around there, because I still got this level. Once maybe your maximum stop loss could be all the way down to here, but this is your buying zone. Anywhere above this level here is our buying zone, and this area here, anywhere you find a buy, you are able to execute on it, as long as you've got the right signals, such as candlestick rejections and stuff, and you put your stop loss maybe here, depending on how you've got that entry, and your take profit is all the way up to here. So when I say depending on how you've got your entry, is that look at now the risk reward is for 1:4, but depending on how you've got your entry, find out that price is giving us a beautiful support, whereby you can easily have your stop loss be somewhere here, and now you flipped that 4% into a 7%. But this is one thing that I like about you, being able to use these methods to your own advantage, because this way here you are able to grow your account massively, and when you are growing your account, you're also growing your knowledge. When you grow your knowledge, your mindset is growing, and you are able to grow the ones that are close to you. If you loved anything that I had to say, or loved the type of information that I share and the way that I look at the market, comment below, tell me what it is that you like, and as well, comment below, tell me what you are seeing for the week. I'm excited, and I'm very positive and sure that this is going to be a productive week for us. And one thing that you can do is that you can easily just check out the link in the description box if you want to trade with the brokers that we trade with. And I will see you guys on the next YouTube video. It's a somewhere to be.